Yeah.
Deze is housekeeping als een Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Jeff Doss, and we are excited for a big week. It's been an epic Thanksgiving week. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope everyone had a blessed Thanksgiving, a great time. Alex, how about you, man? Hope you had a great one with your family.
It was eventful.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make it real short as to like what Thanksgiving was
Right.
without saying one word about how Thanksgiving was. I'm just gonna tell you the dynamic and let you go. Oh, okay. So Lindsay is one of 7 kids. Okay.
Yep.
The house she grew up in, we live a mile and a half from. Okay.
Okay.
It's both a blessing and a curse, right? More blessing
Yeah.
than curse, by the way. All right. Mostly blessing. But anyway. So she's one of 7 kids. It's like an 1,100 square foot house. So now those kids have spouses. Those kids have kids. And we're all still trying to go underneath the same roof. What are we thinking? So yeah. Like but you know what though? At least I'll say it's better than, well, I want to say the other one's not, but it's at least easier than Christmas because when you got Christmas,
Oh,
it's like here's the moment, everybody stop and be right in this circle together
yeah.
at the same time. Don't move. And we're like, what? I'm. We got the air conditioning pumping. I'm in shorts and I'm sweating, and it's December. How about no? Right? But yeah.
That sounds fun.
Anyway, no, it was fantastic. Kids had a fantastic time. We always in this house. I almost really wish that we could be upstairs in my house right now, because I'm gonna tell you what Lindsay does for her Christmas decor. She will not let me decorate anything before Thanksgiving, and for me, I'm like, let's just go. It's November. What's the difference? Throw the tree up. Let's have fun. So, right.
Wow.
So she's like, nope, that's Saturday. What we're going to do is we're just going to, Saturday or Sunday, right? We're going to decorate everything. So you take the kids, get out of the house, and then let me just buckle down. And this house, we don't have to turn on a light, a lamp, nothing. And this place is lit up. Like there's lights everywhere. Right. She does it like really nice.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell her, like, can we just keep it up till like mid-March, something? But yeah, anyway, it's
That's
fantastic.
the issue with doing all that, right? It's just like you do all this work for 1 month, So it's like, dang, but it's fun. It's fun.
Right.
All right. So before we get into the rest of our show, we got lots going on. As for me, it was a fun time watching all of the happenings of what was happening in the WAKO World Championships. Always a fun time to keep an eye on that. Every other year, it's a big deal. And it looked like a cool and a great one this year as well. In Portugal, which all the videos and pictures I've seen have been beautiful. So we're going to get into that and other big topics that are coming up. What are some things that we are thankful for? Because we didn't get to do this last week, as we were talking about that. But there's all kinds of things. For me, I'm going to go ahead and start. Of course, we'll start with the basic things and like the main things, right? That have to happen, right? So God, family, friends, having a job, having a business that I love, right? My students, my community that supports me. I'm thankful for faith, for, so many, of course, martial arts, right? Um, but
That's what I was.
I'm thankful for this show, like being able to do this every week with you, the insiders, really, make it fun, right? Even when we get comments, messages, private messages from people complaining about this or that, or private message from people telling us, "Hey, you messed up on this. You messed." It's okay. It's fun. That's what actually makes it fun because you know what? That means people care. People are
Yep.
listening. So I love it, and I hope that we can continue to grow this thing and continue to put out a show that pushes sport martial arts, pushes what both of us are about is, lifting people up. Um, and I'm thankful for Travis Plowden. That's one for all he has done for this. Thankful for all the friends and family that we have met and gotten to meet through sport martial arts. There's lots, man. I'll let you go a little bit before I take off them.
Well, I want to, yeah, because you were going. I want to
Yeah.
echo a few things that you mentioned, and I'm going to start with kind of what you left off on. Hand claps to our director, Travis Plowden. All right.
Yeah, man.
And he wasn't in the thread, but I was just talking to the rest of the, the Martial Arts Center Network. Like Travis Plowden has done amazing things, personally, like you mentioned, like I'm thankful that we get to do this. I'm thankful too. I would never thought. I mean, maybe if I would do a podcast where I'd have like 4 episodes that no one would have listened to, no, he had this whole dream and he put it together, and it takes a lot of freaking work. I would have never been able to do it. Right. No, I mean, I'm just going to be flat out, Jeff, you're talented. I don't think you would have been able to do it either. Right.
No.
Not all these shows, right? There's no way.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Right.
I mean, he had a fantastic vision, and I don't even think we're anything close to what his vision was, to be honest with you. I think
No,
he's like, hey, I got this vision, and we're just not even able to get to what that thing is. But anyway, no, I'm thankful for him. I'm thankful for the show. Really thankful for the insiders. All right. Yep. Love them. DDB, thankful for you, homie. Yeah. But listen, this is a strange one. All right. So I'm thankful for a community of people that are not yes men or women. All right. So often we want to, let's say you're like, oh, we do it in martial arts all the time, right? This is a common thing. Like, man, it's BS, man. You saw what that was like, man, that's BS. You got like, yeah, man. And you got there first. Yeah, man, come on. And yeah, we're not going back. Or that guy's a bum, right? So often we'll think these things and then say these things, and then we got people echoing them. So I'm gonna tell you about this book. I actually meant to tell you about this months and months ago. I'm rereading it again. I'm like 4 chapters in. But I think this is the 3rd or 4th time I've read it. And let me make sure I get the title right. I'm gonna pull it up right now. I know this is strange, but hang on. How? This is for real. This is the book. How to be free from bitterness. I meant to tell you about this book, Jeff, for a while. I am thankful for this book. All right. There's other podcasts that I think we're thankful for, because let's be honest, there's no new music that's good that's coming out. All right. There's
no, dude.
All the great,
no, dude.
I'm saying this is a DJ, right? I'm saying this is a DJ, dude. And all the great DJs, you know what we're doing? All right. We're just remixing old stuff. All right. Mashing old stuff together. We're playing old stuff. All right. That's all we're doing. Who's got the cool remix of? I'm not even making this up. All right. I found this one, and then this is a massive rant of "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees. Listen to this.
Yeah.
"Hot in Here" by Nelly. Okay. Keep this, and I do it live every time because I found a track one time, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna mix it live every time. All right. And I mix the track together and call it "Staying Hot." So just do stuff like that. There's no new music, there's there's nothing. So we have fun with this stuff. This is what I love. All right.
Right.
Yeah, guys, chime in, watch, because there's also no new cool TV shows, right? What are you watching? What was the last movie anybody wanted to watch? Are you kidding me? No.
That's true. I tried to
So
go
yeah,
to a
I
movie
am.
over the I tried to go to a movie the weekend. I just was like, I don't know. Like
What was
I
the
would
movie?
probably there's some movies I would go and watch by myself, but not with someone because I don't think they would enjoy it. Like honestly, I would probably go see Napoleon, right? But I don't think anyone in my family wants to go see Napoleon, right?
Wait, stop right there.
What?
You would go see a movie by yourself.
I don't know, maybe.
There's a
I don't know
lot
if I
of
would
things
go
I
to the
would
theater
do
to
by
see it.
myself.
What I
That is
probably no,
no.
like go to the theater, probably not. No. What I mean is probably watch it by myself. So I would probably wait till it came out. But yeah. Yeah, no, I haven't ever done that. Sorry. I just mean like for me, like
Okay.
Napoleon is something that I would watch, but I don't think I think I would almost feel bad making someone else watch it. Like it's probably a good movie, but but
Dude, you know
I
who
don't
used to be
think
strange
anyone
like that? I would watch movies with Hamid Farouzi. This guy, we were like the tightest of homies. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he is a big sci-fi guy, right? And he would watch some of the strangest stuff. Like we would watch like movies that would be like, I don't know, like Kick Ass or something like
yeah,
that. You know, like you're like,
yeah.
all right, this is kind of like a Quentin Tarantino type of badass type of movie. And then there'd be like the sci-fi movie, then you'd be like, what the heck are you watching? Right. And the guy's got like a massive home theater in this tiny little house he's got. Right. It doesn't make sense, but it's a phenomenal. But anyway,
That's awesome. That's awesome.
easily the
But
theater's
yeah.
got to be half the cost of the house. Easily.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
But it's like that.
Good
It's
stuff.
that dang good.
So I'm also thankful for just all the different people that I've got to meet. And Team Revolution, all the different people and families I've gotten to meet over the past 2 years of really just teaching Zoom lessons and private lessons and getting back out there and competing. And thankful for the Korean challenge movement and all the different things that are happening. Also, again, thankful for reading because I read a bunch of books as well.
Wow, I just gave you another one.
Yes, you gave me another one. Yeah, my instructor gave me like 4 today on our call today. So,
Wow.
but lots of great things. And also one more thing thankful for, and I mentioned this several times over the 4 years, but I think it's very important. And I think before we move on to the next thing, I'm thankful that my parents took me to the nighttime finals of my first tournament, right? Because without that, I probably wouldn't be here, right? So again, parents, go and show them the best of what is at these events, right?
Right.
If you want your kid to be in soccer or whatever, eventually you're like, hey, I really hope one day to take them to a bigger game, to like a MLS game, or
Yep.
hey, whenever the Premier League comes over, it's a big deal to go and show them that in soccer, right? Or all right, we're gonna go to the NFL game because you want to show them the best of what it is, right? Well, we need to do
And
the
it's
same
such
thing with
low
sport
risk.
marketing. Right. Stay to the end of your local tournament and watch the black belts, or if they do it in the morning, go in early and watch the black belts, right? Go to these bigger tournaments. And even if you don't feel comfortable yet competing, which I still think you should compete, go and watch the
Yeah.
finals or go and watch the runoffs, go and watch the fighting, go and be a part of and see what your opportunities are, what it could be if you committed to something, right? So I'm thankful for that
Well, and
because
if you
that's
think about it, like when I
taking
say
me
it's
here.
such low risk, well, like I was just mentioning, Jeff, like when I said such low risk, like think about this. Let's say my son Zachary, let's say he's like, Daddy, I really want to go see the Bulls. Do you have any
Yeah.
idea, like everything involved
much?
in that? First of all, it's the ticket alone is going to be $200 a ticket almost. I don't care where you sit.
Right.
All right.
Right.
And the United Center, it's not just in Chicago, right? The city, like everybody says they're from Chicago. Nobody's from Chicago. Like
From Chicago.
some people are
No.
from Chicago. Like, but like everybody who's like who wants to say like, oh, I am from Chicago. You're not. You're from Addison, or you're from Naperville, or you're from somewhere. No.
Right.
Right. But anyway, it's the traffic it's for real. It's gonna take you 2 hours, right? Then you got to park. So there's another $100, right? Then you got to get there. It's everything involved. So look at that. And then he might be like, and that's why, like, look at all that. And it's like an entire day, right?
Right.
You might spend $500 just to have him see a high level basketball game. Like, you got to be kidding me here. But
Right.
if this is the sport that they're in, right? Have them see the finals. When you said you're thankful that your parents, took you to see the finals, I'm going to one up you. Okay. My first Diamond Nationals, Minnesota, that I competed in was in 1993. That was not the first Diamond Nationals I went to. I went in 1992. We didn't know anything. I'd only been in karate a few months,
Right.
So my dad was like, it's a tournament up the road. Then we'll go. That's what he literally thought of it as. Right? He's like, it's in Bloomington, Minnesota. I work in Bloomington. It's up the road. That's what he thought of this thing as. Right? Because we did an intramural tournament once. So we thought they're all the same. So he's like, oh, yeah, I heard they have some big show. So we went to the show and I see, Gabriel Naga, win. And I see Richard Plowden win. Look at that. I still remember this. I still remember the performances. I didn't even compete in the tournament. Right?
Right.
It was it from there on. From that on, I'm like, this is it. Then I am not doing anything else.
That's awesome, man. I love it. All right. So
we got a bunch of topics.
Yes, we do. Sorry, I had to clear things up. All right. So
all good.
Here we go. WAKO was awesome, man. So it was in Portugal this year. Again, the WAKO Worlds happens every other year. Next year will be for the juniors. Which I feel like it really makes it more important, right? It makes it exciting. You got to wait 2 years until your next time, like one of the guys, David Muhammad, who went for the light contact and kick light divisions from USA. He, like he said, he's 38. He's still going after his goal. He didn't win, but he's like, you know what? Maybe in 2 years, I'll be 40. Maybe I'll compete again. Who knows? I don't know what that's going to be like in 2 years, but I'm going to just keep trying at the sport. And then if it's supposed to happen, it's supposed to happen, So again, that reality of, oh, well, I'll come back next year. Well, really 2 years, so, a lot of things change in 2 years. So
a lot of
I think that does make it more important, though. That makes it really important. So lots of big news. I love it. I tell you what, for the most part, sport data is real easy to check and see all the brackets, all the draws, when the scores come out. The only time that it seems like they're a little bit behind are actually on the like the semifinals and the finals when that happens. But overall was easy to check out. USA this year, another great squad. Lots of good first round wins and second round wins. We had Joe Rhodes. Yep. We got Joe Rhodes, who got a bronze. We got Devin Hopper, who got a bronze. We got John Coratello, who got silver, lost by 1 point in the final to Italy. Great fight. And then let's see, as far as medalists, I think that was it. We had, and then of course we had Bailey Murphy and Rashad Eugene, who both won golds. And then Team USA, which we will get to, won the men's team, which was a huge, huge win. So those are some big ones on the USA side. If you guys got other ones, let me know. Put those out in there. Jesse King was there.
Yeah, big time coach Jesse Ray. He was there, coaching the guys.
I don't know if he's actually. I don't think he's back yet. I thought he was still over there.
Who?
So it may be like 3 a.m. over there now. What time is it, Jesse? But yeah, so
I bet he's back.
It was cool to see.
I bet he's back.
I thought that because Rashad, I thought said that a few of those guys were still staying, but some of those guys did return today. So, Jesse. He's back. All right, Jesse and El Java were the main head coaches for the week. Awesome job. Um, you know, was cool to see just just the growth and honestly, the past 3 years, well, 3 WAKO Worlds, we've seen great consistency and growth. It hasn't been it was bad before. No, like last year or the 2 years ago, there was multiple golds. As well. I think
Yep.
there might have been more golds as far as in the point fighting. But with the silver in teams, right? There were multiple silvers and multiple bronzes, over the past 3 years. This is Bailey's second WAKO World Championship, because the last one he got a silver to Elijah. The year before he had won the 2 years or whatever, 2 years before that. You have, 2 years ago, Enrique won his. You've had people that are, doing amazing things in WAKO. And so it was really cool to just see this growth, and the consistency, I think, is the big thing. Getting to see guys like Devin Hopper, like Joe Rhodes, like John Cortolo, like Brayan Rodriguez go over there and fight for USA. It's pretty awesome. So, what were some big things that you noticed? And we're just talking about WAKO USA right now. Again, before we go on, Rashad Eugene, 3 golds in forms and
3
weapons.
out of 4, right?
Yeah, 3 out of 4. Yep. Awesome job. His performances
and the
look
4th
some of the best.
was the silver.
No. He fell on his form.
Wasn't it?
4th
Oh, that's
one.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. He fell and he started doing push-ups. That's right.
Yeah. But all the forms I saw of his were some of his best forms I've seen him do this year. So it was awesome to see. Cameron Whittington was also there representing the U.S. There was a lot of good competitors, honestly. Like I do have to say that the forms competition has gotten bigger over there. The numbers were big, especially on the men's side. There's like 14 to 20 on each division, with out of the 4 divisions there for the men's. We didn't have anyone there representing the women's side. We had some competitors that did well from Guatemala, from Mexico, that we see. So I believe the guy that won the musical forms was from Italy. He had some amazing tricking ability. So I feel like there is, some levels where, that forms level is coming up. But again, I feel like just that creativity is where, the lack is there, right? In some aspects, I don't know. We hope to get Rashad on to talk about that, maybe the growth of WAKO forms and where that's going. So
I think the forms will kind of always continue to grow, but I think it will always be significantly the backseat to fighting. Right.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, it starts in the school, right? I mean, every great business, martial arts business, it starts in the classroom, right? If you don't have a product, you don't have anything to sell, you don't have anything, to build up, you don't have any champions of any kind if you don't have a good product. So, and that's not to say that they don't have a good product. It's just a different product, a completely different product. Right. But the interest is there. They're clearly wanting to do it and then dedicating themselves to it and then being pretty talented with it. So yeah, I'm going to take a radical step in saying, I don't think they will, and this doesn't sound bad, and it's not, and I'm going to explain why it's not. I'm going to say the bad thing first, and then I'm going to backpedal. Okay. Yeah. Here's the soundbite that everybody's going to want to hear. I don't think the rest of the world outside of the Americas will ever catch up to the Americas. I think the Americas will always be number 1 in forms and weapons forever.
Are we talking about creative stuff?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
Obviously traditional. Sure. Yeah. I mean, this isn't the WAKO style. All right. I don't think they will never do it. Now, listen. Okay. Here's why that's not a knock. Okay. I mean, look at that this type of sport kind of started here when we're talking about, open
Forms.
creative style forms
Yeah.
where you're taking all martial arts styles together. It's essentially what that is. This is kind of where
Right.
it started. So when you do something like that, you take a sport like that started like, all right, like we had to call it American football, right? Yeah, there's not a player
Yeah.
in anywhere in the world that could, you know, compete for
Right.
a national, high school football team. Like you couldn't make the roster, you know? Like what are we talking about here, right?
Yeah.
And to
Except the
say
kicker.
like, yeah, and they're all from Australia. Why are they all from Australia too, by the way? I don't know that, right?
Rugby, man. Rugby.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, and obviously, but there's going to be exceptions where you're like, all right, yeah, Alex, but look at the NBA. You got guys like,
Yep.
Joel Embiid and Giannis and Luka Doncic. And like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I get that. And they maybe they're in the top 10. They are. But when you take guys like Nikola Jokic, but look at how long that took. Because really, when did we really start seeing like, okay, it was 1992 when we did the Dream Team. That's when we're like,
Yeah.
okay, you guys really think that you're that good? Let's show you our best and see how well you guys fare. Like
Right.
you couldn't tie our shoelaces, right? They've now caught up.
Right.
That was 30 years ago, right? They've
Yeah.
now
Right.
caught up. And they're not even on the top, right? Because you taking any of those guys over Steph Curry, like you're not. You're not. You're just not, bro. Right? So anyway,
Right.
well, that's why I
Yeah.
say they're never going to be the top, but we are excited to see what they come up with. Because you might come up with a Luka Doncic, and you're like, holy crap, look at this guy. This guy's fantastic, right?
Right. Well, I mean,
Who
you
was
look
that
at
one tricker
guys.
from Paris?
Yeah, that's what I
Who
was
was
just
it?
going to do.
Anis Suefa? Like,
Yeah, he was great. Yeah, he was a good one.
he was
You also have
fantastic tricker.
a lot of good guys and females from England that did well for a while. So you have some people. I'm not going to mention names because you're going to flip out. But anyways,
That's
so
okay. You can say her name. She was good.
one of the big things. So again, for me, one of the big things that I noticed was Francesca CC, winning her world title over Evelyn Naines. 2 years ago, Evelyn beat Francesca. Now she got it back and, finally won that WAKO World title against Evelyn, who is, again, like, she's a legend.
She's the standard.
She's amazing. She is the standard. And, Francesca has been that fighter that all of us have talked about the past 2-3 years, who's impressive,
Yep.
amazing. She's part of Team Proper, and has kind of done everything this year, kind of gone everywhere, trying doing the World Combat game. Or I don't think she did that, but Elena did the World Combat Games. But she did the European Olympics. She's done a lot of just competing all over the place, right? She's done well in Bristol and just an amazing competitor overall. So congrats to her for
European circuit.
that and winning. Yeah, I mean, dude, the Italians are just they're at that high level, right? And honestly, it's crazy to me that they won so many world titles this year, but they didn't win either of the teams. So that was an interesting one. As the UK females, again, which I mean, you have a team with Jody Brown and Evelyn Naines on it. I mean, pretty beats team, right?
I was actually surprised that they made that a team. That they didn't say, no, you're in England. No, you're Ireland. That they let them do that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Jody wasn't on there. Maybe I got that part wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
'Cause if
not
that
sure. I didn't
happened, I'm
look at
like,
who
I
was.
would be
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah, I think I may have just said the wrong name. There was somebody else that was on there, but the English team was a great team, and they won actually over the Bulgarians. This is another thing I want to talk about. I watched some of the, a good amount of the female fighting as well, as Yamina was there
Talent.
fighting. Yamina, was there from Team Revolution. She lost to this Bulgarian in the second round. Wow, dude, these girls
They
are
don't play
beasts.
around.
No, they're awesome, and their fighting team. I think Bulgaria is the team that beat Italy, right? And all of those girls are amazing, right? And then a lot of them go and do kick light and whoop butt as well. Like, it was crazy. Like, they're just going and just winning it all. So it was exciting to see that. That was something that's cool about watching those live streams, is that maybe you don't watch, like for us, if we watch WAKO, we watch, like, okay, let me see the Italians, let me see the Hungarians, let me see the British. There's a few, they're like, all right, is Roman there? Someone from his school. Oh, let me see let me see some guys from Ireland, from that school over there, from Talbot,
TMA,
Talbot,
solid martial arts. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but like Bulgaria, man, they're all pretty beast. Okay. So that was exciting to see. Um, you know, um, there were some guys that beat people that were from Brazil, that were from Venezuela, that stepped up, So really cool to see just different countries coming out, right? So,
And there,
what's
and
next?
well, I think
Go.
that that's so interesting because, like, when you bring up Bulgaria, like, I mean, the training, when you watch this performance, you're like, damn, they're all good, you know?
Yeah.
And you start thinking, like, what, they're all good. Like, what the frick is the training like, you know? Because if you
Right.
get one guy who's amazing from Liechtenstein and you're like, all right, holy crap, like, you're a unicorn, okay? Because that's
Yeah.
not normal, right?
Right.
So, but then if you're like, never mind, your entire country's good, like killing everyone, and like, this is not normal. What is this training like? So
Whatever, Sean.
I was thinking, like, I just reminded me of that one Rocky where Stallone was like training like in like the rafters
Oh,
when he was doing like those crunches in the rafters in like the Russian like
yeah,
winter time.
yeah.
It just
That's the
reminded me
best.
of that. You know what I mean? Like, what do you guys do? Do you guys just do slide kicks in the snow or something like that? You just like hopping on rocks, doing blitzes or something? Like, what is this? Like,
That would
here's
be
the
the
pieces.
best.
Here's a piece of steel. Dodge that. You know,
Oh
it's
my
just
god.
because
That's great.
when they're all so amazing, you're like, they're clearly tough. You're like, all right, I'm just
Right.
curious. What is it like? What's it like? Are you
Yeah.
just killing it all the time? But
Right.
okay, so I had this strange conversation on Saturday. I want to tell you about this, Jeff, because actually I referenced
Okay.
WAKO. Right. So I'm DJing this wedding. And there's this interesting photographer there. I always try to be no. Follow me. Follow me. Right. I always try to be
I
personable
guess.
with the guys there. And I hear the accent. So I'm like, hey, my man, where are you from? He's like, oh, I'm from St. Petersburg. Like, oh, okay, cool. And he's asked me, he goes, what else do you do? I said, well, this is what I do. But my wife and I also own a design and remodeling company. But this is what he says, Jeff, you're going to love this. And he goes, yeah, but your nose is messed up. Yes, I'm not even
Wow.
playing with you. Like, he's looking right at me. Now, he's from Russia.
Yeah.
Sorry. So he goes, yeah, but your nose is messed up. What else do you do? I'm like, well,
That's
I'm actually going to take that as a compliment. I really am.
yeah.
Right. And I said,
That's
well,
funny.
because I had to call it kickboxing. If I said, like, karate or martial arts or taekwondo,
Right.
definitely he wouldn't know what the heck I'm talking about.
Right.
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 So I said, oh, yeah, I do kickboxing. He goes, I did kickboxing in St. Petersburg. And I was like, okay, well, it's interesting you say that because right now, because it was Saturday, I was like, there's a world championships going on. It's actually a pretty big deal. He goes, is it WAKO? And I'm like, shut the front door. Right? Like, yeah, it's WAKO. Right? But like, I don't know. Like, is Russia still like not allowed in? I think that might be a thing. Because like sometimes they're in, sometimes they're not. I don't know what it is. But I remember one of the last
Yeah.
times that they were in, that they were at, or they at least attended, right? Maybe it's not that they're not allowed in. Maybe it's just that they just enchanted or disassociated themselves, right?
Right.
But anyway, I remember one of the last times that they were there, like their whole freaking country was just spin kicking everyone right in the chest,
Yeah.
like orange belts, just pow right in the chest to everyone. And I had this, and then it reminds me, and I promise I'll move on past this. I had a kid. I got this message. This was, I don't know, probably 2016, right? And this guy says, "Hey, my name is Alexi, and I work in Chicago. My family's from St. Petersburg. Over the summer, I want my son to come and train me." I don't know if I told you about this, right? So kids, I think it was, kid was a brown belt, okay? And he goes, "I want him to come and train, but he doesn't speak English very well. So don't talk a lot." So I'm like, well,
Wrong place.
that's going to be the most challenging part of this equation. So anyway, this kid's training, and I'm like, I wanted to do a couple sessions, just me and him. And I'm like, all right, you're actually really, really good. All right. So I'm like, all right, you're going to come in and train. Or no, he was a red belt. Right. But I'm like, you're going to have to fight with some of my brown belts and black belts. First, let's start the brown belts. And right away, kid picks his leg up, and it was like, he didn't even slide. Kid just picked his leg up, and kid just bam, spun, drops him. Like, I'm pretty certain this kid got a concussion. And I'm like, all right, time to up this game. Never mind. You need to go in this group, right? Once I put him with my junior black belts, it was like neck and neck. But it was like, holy crap, he's 10 years old, doesn't understand the language. And this is something to be thankful for. Speaking of thankful, right? Hey, look at this kid. Look at the situation he's in. He's in a country, doesn't know the language. And look at the different speed and culture. But yet he can step into this club and just bow, touch gloves, and feel like he's right at home, which to a certain degree, we could do the same thing if we were there, right?
Right.
Because this is the language right here that we all know, all right? Put my fist up for the listeners, right? All right. Anyway, moving on. Okay. I'm sorry. That was
all right. So
my bad.
Another big thing just to me is we talked about like who are some of the best in the world, who are the best in WAKO right now, who are the best in Europe. And honestly, the past 2-3 years, Ricardo Albanese has really stepped up to be that guy, right? He has been winning overall, open weights there consistently, especially the past year. And so he really, in the most part, dominated and came away with that gold, so it was great to just see that. And then honestly, the way that the Worlds ended, I thought was just great because of really we had two of the best going head to head. Also Conor McGlinchey, congrats to winning his world title, for him winning his WAKO Worlds. You have El Java winning his third WAKO world title. Congrats, my friend. And then, of course, there's some other ones that feel from the States and from Canada who did well. Jason Ryan did great. I think he got a bronze, from Canada. He's on Straight Up. And Ann Sayer, she is from Canada. She got a bronze. I'm probably missing some others, but amazing job to all of them. And to me, Bailey Murphy, man, this dude was on fire this week. He came in with that energy. Finn from UK. Yeah, he did awesome. For me, Jack Buckley is one of my favorites to watch. That dude is a beast. All right. He won his gold from the UK. But Bailey, man, his kicking, golly, dude, when he goes over there, his kicking is like on a whole nother level. And I love it.
Yeah. Let's rewind back like 4 years ago when we did the lists, right?
Yeah.
We can update them. I think it's time. Once every 4 years, we can update.
Yeah.
We can update. I've been mentioning this. We could do of the year, best of the year, right?
Best kickers of the year. Okay. That'll work.
Well, if you remember, like when I put a post out and said, this is it, right? And it got 917 comments that might be accurate. Who knows? I always
Right.
exaggerate. I feel like maybe that's not. But anyway, um, Bailey chimed in.
Yeah.
Bailey chimed in and he chimed in and goes, "I'm a top 10 kicker right now." And that was 4 years ago. And he goes,
4
"I'm
years
a
ago.
top 10
Yeah.
kicker right now." Right? And with somebody else was like, "Hey, you know, keep it quiet. You don't need to bother yourself with this, you know?" But really, if you want to have a major advantage, this kicking is an easy way to have a major advantage in Europe. And and I think, I hope that changes, because it doesn't have to be the case. There's just so few of them that kick really well, right? There's just so
Yeah,
few
I
of
don't
them
know,
that
but
you're
for
like,
me, like, when I think of the top
yep,
guys there, all of them can kick really well. That's why I mean, you know what I mean? Like, all these guys from
there's
Italy, they're all good
the top
kickers.
guys.
Yeah,
They're
are
the
all
top
yeah,
guys, and then talent-wise, they're all talented, but then all the rest of the ones that aren't the top guys don't kick like them,
right.
you know?
I mean, you
All
talk about
the top
Sandro,
guys, there's a few of
Sandro,
them that, like, don't kick.
yeah,
And, like, I mean, obviously, if you insert Elijah Everett in anywhere, you gotta look at him as like, yeah, he's the top, right? Okay. But
right,
even then, when Elijah was, let's just say,
yeah.
when he was at
Austrian
his
team, yeah,
when he was destroying everyone, I
right.
mean, Jack
He
Felton was right there with him. Really should have beat him. You want to think maybe. And Jack is unassumingly a phenomenal kicker. And I second guess myself,
right.
like, did I mess up by leaving him off? I really think about that every now and then. Like, did I
Eh,
mess up by leaving off Jack Felton? Because you don't think of him as a kicker, but then what do you think of
there's
him
other people
as?
that you messed up on. No, there's other people you messed up on that you should kick
Oh,
yourself
come on
for, but
now.
yeah,
Anyway, um,
yeah, come on.
but I think that's what we look at Bailey as. When you try to put people in a category. When
Right.
you put this guy, because he's so dang fast, you're like, oh no, he's
No, he's
just
just yeah,
blitzer. He's just blitzer, but he's not just that, right? You have to
yeah,
actually watch the fights. You have to watch them. Don't just look at end results. You have to actually watch the matches,
yeah.
because he
Sandro's beast there, Rashad.
fighters do fight different against different people. They don't. That's not like, I mentioned this right after the Diamonds when I had that conversation with Nate Thorne. And I said, bro, you guys like you and I, we're dinosaurs. All
Right.
right. They don't make them like us anymore. And that's not saying a good thing, right? Everyone can do everything now. Like, I'm speaking positively about the state of the talent of this sport when it comes to fighting. Like, they're all great.
Yeah.
You can't put anybody in a category. So when you say, like, yeah, Bailey and his kicking, like, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think that there's anything the guy does bad, anything. So today I had a conversation with Rob Zabilski, right? Because I was at school today. And he he wanted to talk about 3 people. I mean, he really wanted to talk to me. He wanted to talk about Rashad. And he's like, that was the most entertaining guy I got to watch, was Rashad Eugene. I'm like, okay, makes sense. You don't get to see that very often. So that makes sense that would be the most entertaining thing, right?
Right.
And he's like, and you know who he said was the fastest one that he saw? Was Devin Hopper.
Oh, okay.
He said,
Yeah.
Devin Hopper. He goes, that guy's so fast. That guy's so good. Devin Hopper, Devin Hopper, Devin Hopper. Right. And I was like, wow, okay. All right. And maybe, and what do you think about this, Jeff? Maybe we take Devin Hopper's skill right now for granted, because I started thinking about this after he said that. I think we've consistently seen Devin Hopper like level up, level up, level up, level up. It's just like you don't notice like the mess in your house become a
Right.
major
Right.
mess, you know,
It's
right
true. It's
away.
true.
Right. It's
Yeah.
because it's like a little bit at a time. And then someone who comes into your house who's never been there in a while, like, dude, what the heck's wrong with you? Right. Because they notice something, you know, with like a clean slate. So I think maybe it's entirely possible that this guy has just been getting faster and faster and faster right before our eyes, and we haven't really been noticing it. Right? That's a possibility. Obviously, the guy, and I did say this to Rob, and I said, Devin is a self-made man. Like, he just leveled himself up. He's just all hard work, and he earned every bit of what he's got. And I think right now he's capitalizing on it.
Yeah, it's cool to see where he's at right
But
now.
Bailey Murphy, I'm just gonna go right to it. Competitor of the week, Bailey Murphy.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Bailey Murphy is my competitor of the week. And so I'm talking to Rob about him because Rob Zabilski, for those of you who may not understand what I'm talking about, he is the president of WAKO USA. Okay. And he's in Huntley, Illinois. So convenient for me because he's just a few minutes away from my house. Right. So, yeah. So we're talking about him, and he's just like, man, Bailey is literally talent-wise better than everyone in the entire world. I'm like, well, yeah, he is. But and he's like, yeah, but he gets scored on. But this is what he said. I can't even make this up, right? He goes, yeah, but he gets scored on still. I'm like, everyone gets scored on. Rob, what are you talking about? He gets scored on. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, but he just kind of does whatever he wants to do. And then, like, eventually he just decides, like, that's it. I'm just gonna tear it up and I'm gonna win. And I go, does that remind you of anybody you've seen in the past, Rob? He goes, yeah, Raymond. And I go, isn't that kind of like the name that you just don't compare anybody to? You just don't compare anybody to him. You know, there was another name like that years and years before that. You just didn't compare anybody to Nasty Anderson, and nobody was comparable to him until Raymond. And listen, I think we've reached that next name. We've reached that next name. And you know what? And this was a topic I was going to bring up at one point. Yeah, sometimes he's going to take an L. Everybody takes an L. Everybody takes L's in this game. Right?
Everybody does.
This is different than most other combat martial arts activities. We take L's from time to time. Everybody's going to do it. You're going to take a bad L. You're going to win some stuff you shouldn't win, right? Everybody notices that, like, oh yeah, this guy should have never beat me because of yada yada. But no, you're going to take L's sometimes. People are going to take L's that you're like, how in the world did Kevin Walker lose to this guy? He's so much better. Yeah, man. There's so many variables, right? It's not full contact, right? In full contact, you can take things into your own hands, literally, right? A lot easier. This is a different game. And it's the same thing for forms, right? It's out of your hands. It's not, that's actually, I want to say more so in forms, right? It's 100% out of your hands. You don't.
It's out of your, in a lot of ways.
Yeah. You can just kill it. And you're like, I'm just going to hope that the judges aren't a-holes and have their eyes open.
Right. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, man, there's so much from this week, but
I'm sorry.
I know. Yeah, no, that's all right. We can get into that. But for me, just the way it ended with USA winning that teams, I watched all the team fights. You know, I thought that, you know, like a perfect example of what you were saying, it was in the USA in the first round, the USA versus UK, right? We're up by a lot. Bailey's just in a groove. And then he's kind of letting Jack Buckley come back. And he's just like, okay. And he's on a tear. He's like, okay, that was cool. Now let me do what I do. Boom, boom. All right, it's done. We won. Get out of the way.
Right
you know, it was just like, and you know what? It was a great fight to see that. Moving on to Hungary. Wow. Like, to me, it was, and one of the things that Jesse said too, Devin matches up well with everybody. And no matter who they put Devin in there with, you know, that was huge. Tyreek, Tyson, those guys did an amazing job as well. And just making it close or giving a small lead or whatever it needed to do. So it set Bailey up, you know, with what he needed to do. And I don't know what the issue was with the Hungary team. one of the guys that Bailey was fighting was not happy. All right, and kind of stormed off. On the feed I was seeing, it just had that fake like horns and stuff. So I don't really know what was said, but it was kind of fun. I would love to hear about that sometime. But the
if anybody knows,
for me,
definitely chime in.
yeah. So seeing Italy versus USA, they went against each other last year. Italy were the reigning champs. And to finish that, it was close. It was like 1 point, maybe 2 points. And to see Ricardo, who I said, has been probably one of the best from Europe, against Bailey, who's obviously our best, and becoming one of the best when he goes to Europe as well. I mean, he's the best right now, right? And those two go head to head with each other, going back and forth into double overtime, and then you do all right. So it ends in a tie score. They do a whole nother 2-minute round, ends in a tie score, and then it's sudden death. And Bailey to pull it out with the victory for USA, and to win the first USA team title, men's team title that we've ever won. So was an amazing job. Bailey did it as a junior leading the team, and so now to do it as an adult. Same thing with Tyreek, Devin. Those guys did an amazing job. Awesome coaching by Java and Jesse. Just overall, just a great step in the right direction for WAKO USA. So, and then, yeah, I'll go into the L's and stuff in a little bit, but let's finish up with this part.
Yeah, I remember, when he did it as a junior, and if I remember correctly, I think the USA team was down by a significant amount.
Yeah,
and it was like, all right, Bailey, you're supposed to be the chosen one. Let's see how it goes. And yeah, and everyone, I mean, when I watched the live feed, and I remember watching the live feed being like, I can't quite tell. Like, yeah, I mean, obviously he's scoring, but sometimes when people are just scoring, like, it doesn't mean that they're great. It just means that there was, an opportunity, and it was like somebody has to score. So it's like, it doesn't mean you're great, And I remember like looking at it like, all right, yeah, obviously you're the only guy I'm going to really watch in this thing. So let me see what you're doing. And everyone who was there was like, dude, just any reservation you had about wondering if he's the guy, just like bury it, because he's the guy. Just bury it. That was 2016, right?
Yeah,
that was
crazy, right?
7 years ago. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Right.
It's nuts.
Right. So yeah, but it's exactly like what you just said when he was fighting Buckley. When you're like, okay, yeah, all right, you got your thing, and it's strange that we never feel like a lead. Like if they had like a 4-5 point lead. Do you really feel that nervous? Do you really feel that nervous if Bailey's in there and you're like, all right, they got 5 points. Okay, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
All right.
No.
But and then obviously the fighter matters, right? If it's Ricardo, you're like, all right, I have to fight my best. But like you would still think like, yeah, you still got this. You still got this. I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, it's not like, 12 points where you're like, you need to be immaculate, but who knows? Maybe he'd pull something like that off. I don't know. I was really impressed by this. And yeah, the way that it went with the double OT, it's like, does it get more dramatic? This is fantastic.
No,
a
no,
great finish,
a
great win for the States. Way to go.
And overall, let's not just say it wasn't all. I mean, everyone won their fight.
No, not at all.
Like we're talking about this team of Tyreek, Devin, and Bailey, and then you also have Tyson there too. Like, could we ask for? I mean, that was just an amazing team, And I feel like we said in the beginning, we continue to put out solid teams. We put out another solid team, which last Worlds, I thought we had another, great team with Tyreek, Troy, Bailey, and Enrique, so you're talking about another solid one. So the consistency is where we're at right now, which is awesome. Which with before we would finally have a good team, and then the next year only one of those would come back, right? Or something like that. So I feel like the consistency is there and the growth is there. So it's exciting to see. But yeah, man, great job. One of the things too is like when Bailey goes in and he's just moving, he's light on his feet and he's unpredictable. They're stuck. It's funny because even going against someone like a Ricardo, oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Troy and Blake. My bad.
Got the
My
man
bad, Bailey.
himself chiming in.
But yeah, seeing, and that's an amazing team too, but seeing Bailey like move, being light on his feet, like a lot of times, especially like the beginning of that fight with Ricardo, it almost looked like Ricardo was stuck, not sure what he was doing. And Bailey was in so much control, right? And it was really, really cool to just see that. Like, okay, this is a whole nother level. Then you know what? Bailey kind of gets a little sitting and waiting for the moment instead of just letting it come like he usually does. Man, it's exciting to see. That was a couple of times I think were when the points kind of started coming up. On the other side was when he was kind of waiting for this. But there was a couple of times there where Bailey was like, I don't know, man. He did like a cheat 720, a 540, a tornado kick. I don't know. It was all, and then honestly, he was just doing all that just to stay in bounds. It was just hilarious. So it's awesome to see, and keep up the good work, Team USA. Keep up the good work, Bailey. Amazing job, Rashad, for everything going on. What's up, Java? Congrats on your three-peat, man. What's up, man? Go ahead, Alex, what you're going to say.
I would love to hear Bailey's insight and mindset. I would love, we got to have him back on the show. It's been 4 years since he was on this show, right?
Right.
All right. And Bailey, are you down with that? Because I would love to hear his insight on what his mindset was like fighting Ricardo. Because I can think like, if I was Bailey Murphy, I would do X. You know what I mean? It's easier for us to do it when it's not us. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when because he's such a different fighter, Ricardo, right? Because he's long, right? So you're like, I think I would do yada yada, but I would love to know what his mindset was like, why he did X, Y, and Z. But maybe I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to divulge all that information, but I think he would and should because set it up. Look at that.
There we go.
All right, yeah, we're gonna do it soon, Bailey. If you're down like 4 flat tires, then we'll set it up soon.
Yep. So I'm gonna see, as you see, I figured out how to put stuff underneath here. But yeah, I'll be in Toronto this weekend, and now Bailey was going to be in Toronto, so both of us will be doing seminars. So come and listen, Toronto does a great job of setting up all these awesome seminars. There's no reason for you guys not to grow or to go and learn from great people. So we will be out there. I'll talk to Bailey and we'll get it all set up. And yeah, man.
What kind of Toronto things are you thinking you're going to do outside of the tournament?
Well,
have you ever been in Toronto?
I'll share. The last time I was in Toronto was 1999 when Mike Bernardo's tournament was a NASCAR tournament. So yeah, it's been a while, man. So I'm excited, but my travel arrangements have changed a little bit due to some things. I will share this next week. Okay. I don't want to share it before I go. I will share all this, my story leading up to this, and telling people what travel things to do and what not to do. All right. So I will share all of this next week when I get back.
I can't wait to hear this. This
below 0
right
degrees.
there. With that was like, this guys, that right there is just telling you it's going to be story time with Uncle Jeff right there.
Oh yeah.
I know you hate it when I say that, but I love it.
Story time, Uncle Jeff. Someone called me Uncle Jeff the last tournament we were at. Who called me that? Oh, Connor.
Stop. Are you serious?
Yeah, he called me Uncle Jeff. I was like, okay.
Did I just speak something into existence? Oh man.
Oh yeah, Chicago in January is ridiculous.
But you know what though? It is ridiculous.
It's not that bad. No, Wisconsin in January is ridiculous.
And you know why it's
Wisconsin
ridiculous?
is
Because it's just
negative
as
20
cold.
today.
Actually, it's just a little bit colder, and there's not as much to do.
It's true.
So Chicago, but
It's
here's what
true.
I'll tell you. Right now, Chicago, like it's probably, I don't know, 8 degrees in Chicago right now.
Yeah.
Actually, let me look. All right.
Oh,
Everybody's gonna probably do the same thing when
Rashad's
they're listening.
as well. Sorry.
But
Rashad's doing seminars this weekend too.
all right, it's 20. Okay, so later on tonight, it's gonna be like 14 degrees. Okay, yada yada. That's right now.
Where? In Chicago?
It's still November. Okay.
Wow.
But do you want to know, like, if you love Christmas time, this is the best place to be. All right. Chicago is the #1 city in the country. If you love Christmas time, this is the place to be. And yes, I just did what I talked about earlier in the show. I talked about where I'm at in terms of Chicago. I get that, but it's the whole Chicagoland area. But yeah, you go to the city and you do like the Palmer House Hilton, you do, the zoo lights, the Brookfield Zoo, you go to Wrigleyville, you do it all. And you know what? You're going to be like, oh my gosh, everyone's going to do it. And they're going to go, Alex was right. This is an experience I'll never forget. I know. It's okay.
Yeah, Madison, Wisconsin. It's cold, Gina. You're right. You're right. All right. So yeah, thank you, Rashid, because we had this on here and we've kind of, but before we finish, we'll finish with this. So what is next for Enrique Latono? Where do we think he's going to go? Right. So he had the announcement in the post that he was, his time with Top 10 USA is up. He's moving on to something else. What are people's predictions? What do people think? Some first things on your mind. Just so for me, thinking, okay, maybe focus solely on Europe, right, and fight for a European team there, right? Maybe Corelli, right? Who knows? Maybe something like that, right?
I mean, it's
right?
possible.
It's possible. So, what's another option that people think? Of course, we think JPM,
So
maybe.
let's look at what we know. Okay.
Right.
Before we start looking at like, oh, I think this, what do we know? We know he was, I don't think that team Top 10 USA had the man, because would you really say like he's the man over Tyreek? I don't know that you would. Right. So, but he was on a
Right.
team where
They had
he was
two
treated
completely different
like,
styles.
right. But he was on a team where he was treated like the man. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, and all he did was just say he's not on that team. Okay. He's not on that
Right.
team. But he's gonna be on one. This is just you're not that great, and then just decide to be like, no, I'm just gonna wear my own club uniform, white uniform with nothing on it, wear my Miyagi-Do, like come on now, you're gonna do something, right? So,
That would be cool.
I mean, part of me thinks about it. You didn't join a team and leave a team at the same time, because some people will just announce it like, oh, I'm on team yada yada, when we all still thought you were on that team. He didn't do that. He left the team. So what teams do we know of that won't pick up a guy that's still on a team, that say like, you're gonna have to not be on a team before I pick you up? JPM is one of them.
Right.
JPM's well, let me back up on that. JPM used to be one of them. They did that. They didn't. Their last run of pickups was not that way.
Well, here's the deal. I think more of this was more about Enrique really respecting his time with Top 10 USA and him wanting to do, to end this the right way and just say, all right, I'm moving on. Maybe he already had something in mind, but he wanted to do it as that, because honestly, I don't think he had any bad thing at all. And he really enjoyed the process. They just ended, their time winning the Diamond Nationals as, team tournament, like they won the team title, I don't know. I think everything was great for that, but maybe he wanted something new, So JPM, maybe straight up. Those are the two that I would think of,
Well, I have no reason to think that this is a thing. but there's a coach that won't pick you up if you're on a team. And that's
Yeah,
Richard
I
Plowden.
know that. Oh,
But I don't know the state
well,
of that team. But Avery Plowden is the champ, right? That's what I call him. So you put
hmm,
him,
Enrique.
Enrique,
Yeah.
Nico. It's a damn good squad.
Well,
That's a championship squad.
yeah, but you're forgetting like you got Liam North who is killing it right now. You
I did
have
forget about Liam North. That's
Michael
right.
Michael, who's freaking amazing right now. So there's a lot of youth on that team that is ready to go. And yeah, that would be an interesting one, you know?
I mean, and I don't, there's no reason to think that, like, oh, I'm not hearing anything. All I know
Right.
is he
Right.
left a team and we all think he's likely going to join a team. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, yeah, prize fighter, maybe,
Yep.
but
They just picked
I,
up Zach Tillman from Europe.
what is the most out there possibility? Let's look at that. Like, what is like the craziest possibility? Let's do this. Let's play, fantasy, sport karate manager right now. And let's say, let's
Oh,
just do
wait.
this together. What is one of the craziest
Actually, I
things that
know.
we could put together?
Proper.
Well,
That would
okay.
probably make the most. That would make the most sense too. He's
That
going to be over in Europe.
damn
Yeah.
your sense making self.
Yeah. It's going to make sense. And then maybe they finally come over and to America once or twice a
Yeah,
year.
but then he would be the lone fighter from the States.
Yeah.
I mean, even
Yeah.
the
But
next closest fighter is a 7-hour flight away.
well, yeah. I mean, they still have a few they have Guatemala because Colocho is still on the team and he's in Guatemala.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So I believe. I don't
Well,
know. Thought so. But
okay.
yep.
So that's
Said
something.
that. Yeah. So that would be interesting, that actually makes the most sense. I don't know why I didn't think about it. And I thought,
You just
I
thought about that right in the moment, didn't you?
yeah, I did. I mean, I put some things together, but yeah, I did. And I was thinking, wait, Junior had some big post or a big announcement, but that was probably that was about the other thing. That was about I think top 10 or whoever was their sponsor now. So
Well, I
that
mean,
already had happened.
Enrique's good enough that he could just, and I don't want to say words like demand, but he could really, his presence could warrant, like, hey,
Right.
I'm the guy here. Let's say it was a team that, like, nobody's really thinking of. Let's say it was a team like Revolution that has talented.
That would be a game changer. Yeah.
That would be a what?
Game changer for the team.
A massive
Yeah.
game changer,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Because you'd have they're a talented team, but they don't really have like a guy yet that's like, no, I'm
Superstar.
that good.
Yeah.
A superstar, right? Right.
Right.
I think Alonzo Payne is their best fighter, right? He is Alonzo Payne's their best fighter. Okay. So, but then you get, what Ian Hopler.
Ian Yep.
He's no slouch. Like, he's all right,
No.
But
Yep.
like, and I think we look at that
He
like
still has a lot. He's got a long way to grow, so I'm excited to see that too.
that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Because I just remember seeing the kid, because I remember seeing the kid when I think he was like 7, and I'm like, really? You're like you're all right. I guess this is a really thing that's happening, right? But no, he's got such a way. How do I know he's not going to continue to progress and progress and progress? Because, we all did.
Right.
So, okay, maybe you do. Look at that. Let's say you take that. Could that be top 10 USA? Maybe. Because top 10 USA looks a whole lot different without Enrique Latona on it. Right? Could that beat straight up? I don't know.
You never know.
But the craziest thing I think might be JPM, because then you have 2 teams.
2 teams, yeah.
You have 2 teams, and then you go, what the heck do we do?
Mm.
Yeah, you know what, Donna? I thought about Legend.
Yeah,
I did
Legend
think
is
about
in.
that. And I think pairing Legend actually makes a ton of freaking sense, because pairing Christian and Enrique together, and I
And
think the
Oscar.
main thing is
Plus,
not pairing those 2 together. I think it's Tony. I think
Right.
Tony is such a smart guy that I think he'll be able to, and I don't want to say maximize, because that implies that he hasn't maximized everything already. But I just think that he'll be able to work well with Enrique. Right.
Right.
So
But let's be honest though. Like, let's look at what Enrique's goals have been. Enrique's most
I
of his
know.
goals have been over in Europe, right? Now, there are some
I
things like
get it.
he still, of course, I think he wants to win a diamond. You know, he hasn't done that yet. You know, he wants to win some of those big tournaments. You know, he wants to win those overall grands when he comes here. So,
Yeah.
you know, somewhere where he can kind of do that. I mean, he can do maybe that on his own here, you know, if he wants, you know. So I don't know. It's really interesting to see, but I thought it was cool to see. And I don't know, it always seems like these 2 guys, you know, always wait, what? Sandro and okay. Is Sandro actually technically on Legend? I don't think so. But maybe. I thought that was just for one event when he came over here and he fought with them. But hey, that would be interesting. But again, I just feel like, you know, we were talking about Bailey, somehow Enrique's name gets brought up. When we're talking about Enrique, somehow you know, these 2 guys are amazing.
If that
But
happened,
again, what, we both were
if
on
that
straight up?
happened, yeah, I would
Hey,
actually. That would be crazy. But Joe Greenhaw, he does some crazy stuff, you know.
right, right.
But
Hey.
in 2003, look at what we're talking about. Look at it's 20 years ago.
Yeah, yeah,
In
20 years
2003,
ago.
right when the
All of
Exodus
a sudden,
happened, you wouldn't have like
we
if
get
you would have thought like, could he get Raymond Daniels? No, he's going to get Raymond Daniels, Jotty Tension, and Jason Borelli at the same time.
well, no, not Jason Borelli. No, Jason Borelli was
Jason
still
Borelli
on.
did come that year. Oh no, no,
No,
no,
he
no, no, no.
didn't.
He
He
came.
was
I'm
on
sorry.
season.
My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. That came in 2005.
Yeah,
That came in
yeah,
2005.
yeah. It
All
was.
right.
He got Jason and I mean, sorry, he got Raymond and Jotty. Yeah,
We got Raymond and
that
Jotty.
year.
That's right. I got a little
Yeah,
out there.
yeah,
My bad.
yeah.
Thanks, Jeff. All right.
He added some others that year though too. I mean, he added, you know, I think either that year or you know,
Carlos.
Carlos on the team. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
crazy. So
Right. So then I just remember, but here's the thing, because I was actually fighting and competing at that time. And I remember
right,
being like, yeah, man, we could be cheap, or we could be straight up. We could do that. Right. Because it was Joey. And at that time, like I would fight them. And it was like the strategy against me was like just sidekick Alex's legs as hard as you can. And I would just leave every JPM fight with like bloody legs. And then it's like, I don't even know what to do about this. What am I supposed to do with this team now? You know? But I mean, maybe I guess I would feel a little bummed for guys like Ben Clark. Because what's your role on that team now? I'm not trying to down Ben Clark, but Ben Clark, you're not Enrique Latona.
He's watching. He's watching.
I know this, and Ben knows it too. I'm sure he's like, I could beat the guy, and I bet he can. You know?
Yeah.
But you don't bring Enrique on a team like that to not, I guess, in our terms, start. You don't do that to have him be an alternate or to have him be the 4th man or the 5th.
Well, you would think that, right? But do you remember, you know, we're talking about a team like JPM who brought on Trevor Nash and didn't have him team fight, you know, at Diamonds. So what did Trevor go out and do? He just whooped every single top fighter in the tournament, Raymond, Jason, everyone, and won the diamond. You know, so it's like
that is a great point.
You
That
know,
is
so you just
great.
never know, right?
And I remember
That was
I fought teams that year too. And I remember like, what the frick are we gonna do with this Trevor? How the hell are we gonna do? All right. And they were
that
like,
would
oh
be
no,
a fun
Trevor's
one.
not fighting. And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, that would be a fun one. Tyson and him together. Hey, that would be good.
That
Yeah,
no,
and then
no, that can't happen. No, that can't happen. That
okay.
cannot happen.
All right.
It can never happen on next level. Listen, and I like Enrique Latona, but I've also been critical of Enrique Latona. More so his brother. But
Yeah.
I think that squad would not like at all the things that I've been critical of. So I don't think that could ever happen. But hey, crazier
Oh,
things have
man,
happened.
that's
But
true.
maybe
All right, guys. So thank you all so much. This has been a great show. Um,
what a great one.
Hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone this weekend in Toronto. We got seminars going on. We got the Korean Challenge back, 3 rounds. It's going to be a lot of fun. And guys, I'm just telling you, next year NASCA has junior Korean divisions, and the first tournament, um, the first tournament of the year, aka both has Korean Challenge and junior Korean division. So I'm just telling you, book me now because I'm going to be swamped and I'm going to have to start saying no soon. So, but
Listen, if you
now's
are on the
the time to
fence,
start training,
I
getting
don't know
ready.
what you're thinking. No, Jeff, I got it. I got it from here. All right. What the Bible say? Let another man's lips praise you. Okay. So,
Yeah.
listen, if you were gonna have someone, train you for Korean forms, this makes sense. Okay, so let's just think about it. Who would you reach out to when you're not bad at Korean forms? Okay, so you're probably pretty good. You probably had it. You probably got your instructor's pretty good. You're not trying to be pretty good. You're trying to be great. So you're looking for absolutely great martial artists. There's one man. There's only one man, and he's still competing and he's still out there. You are dang lucky that he's out there. Why are you not reaching out to Jeff Doss? He is readily available. There's a time limit on this thing. He's not Iron Man, right? Sorry, Jeff. All right. All right. But
No.
he's there. He's available. What are you thinking? Lock it up while you can. All right. Sorry. Okay. This way you didn't have to say it, Jeff.
There we go. Thank you. Nah, but I'm
Okay.
excited, guys, for a big year, 2024. Thank you all so much. What are we going to end on, Alex?
I'm watching the score of the Vikings game, and that's why I got my because it's Christmas sweater season now. That's why I got my Vikings
Yes,
Christmas sweater
yes.
on. How in the world this should be conflicted, but I'm not because we're playing the Bears on Monday night. No,
Right.
how? Come on, man.
Yo, how
Bears,
are
it's
you?
9-3 right now. We got pretty much the rest of the fourth quarter, but come on now, it's 9-3. Let's bury these
And
guys.
also, just before we finish,
got Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs is pretty dang good. I can't believe you. How do you trade for a quarterback mid-season and actually have him be like, "Oh yeah, no, this was a great move." It was a great move. But anyway,
the Inside Scoop Fantasy results, guys. Just so you know, I beat Jackson Rudolph this week. So that's a big. And I think, did you lose to and Troy Jackson lost the second week in a row. So
this is the word. Listen, this is the tale of 2 weeks for me. So
yeah,
this
last week you're the first person to beat Troy Sexton, who's been undefeated, and now you're losing.
10-0.
Yeah,
he was 10-0, and I beat him last week. Yeah, buddy, beat you, Troy. And then this week, okay, sorry, Angel Diaz is in our league, and Angel Diaz has not changed his lineup since he automatically drafted, right?
He's got two people in IR. He's still beating you.
Stop.
Or he beat you, not beating
Mahomes
you.
And a bunch of backups. And
yeah,
I lost this week.
Mike Bates finally getting some wins. Let's go.
Oh man.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
What's the
All
playoff
right,
bracket
hey,
like? Am I even in the playoffs?
guys,
I'm in the playoffs.
right now it's you, me, Jackson, and Troy. Kind of like every year. Except you. Sometimes you're in, sometimes you're not.
Sometimes I'm not. That's why my name was my name was fingers crossed because I don't think I made it last year.
Consistently, it's been Troy, Jackson, and myself who've always been the top three. I won the first 2
You guys
years,
won in
and I beat
next year.
Troy. And then so we'll see. Yeah, if you
Angel
guys
might
want
be
in
on the
next
way
year,
up. Sorry,
we're gonna open up a couple of leagues too. So it's gonna be a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
I'll do another one.
All right, guys. Thank y'all so much.
This has been
See y'all
another
next-
episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Dawes. See y'all next week.